The World Products SR Torquer head has been around for a long time. Not a real popular cylinder head in the circle track or drag race arena for a number of reasons. It's undergone a lot of changes over the years with different markings on the ends. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to identify, but it does have either the 4360 or I believe the 4361 stampings on the end. There's the SR and the SR Torquer. The SR is a 194 intake valve. The SR Torquer is the exact same head with a 202 valve. And I believe they do offer them in a couple of different CC versions, which means they're just syncing the valve job. Good, solid head. The advantage of this over, let's say, an open chamber head or a double hump head, which is kind of what it's comparable to, or sometimes can be used as an option, either the open chamber head, the double hump head, or the SR cylinder head, is it's about the same head. It's a good head structurally, meaning you can buy them brand new, they're not going to crack, and you're going to have it forever. From a performance standpoint, they leave a lot to be desired, and that's being politically correct. In other words, it kind of sucks from a performance standpoint. The intake ports, while they say they're 170 some odd cc's, they measure considerably less than that. The intake port on this particular head is probably the worst performing intake port of all the heads in this family, being the double hump, the open chamber, or the Dart SS, or the EQ350i, and this is probably the worst one. Now, in stock form, it gets a little bit complicated, so hopefully I can explain it correctly. In stock form, it's an awful head to run on a race car. I'd rather run a stock open chamber head or a stock double hump head or any of those other heads rather than this one. Now, when you modify this head with either SST porting or more commonly our undercover porting, it works really well. The intake port needs major work in order to get it to flow exactly like a double hump will, or maybe a little better than the open chamber head. So once it's modified, it works really well. So if you do have an application where you kind of can run this SR head, which again you can buy brand new, and that has a lot of advantages, or an open chamber cylinder head, this is definitely a viable alternative, but only if you're going to modify it. If you're going to take this thing out of the box or just do like our performance prep and put guides in it, and guide liners in, and do a valve job, you're going to be very difficult to be competitive. This is a head that we've performed our undercover porting to. In stock form, these things barely make 200 CFM, barely. When we're done with them, they'll flow 225 to 230 with the 194 valve. Exhaust improves from about 130, 135 to about 170. Those numbers are right in line with an undercover ported open chamber cylinder head. Surfacing wise, this head leaves a little bit to be desired there. You can't surface a lot off of it because of the spark plug cooling area here gets thin. So you're limited to maybe getting them down to about 60 cc's. As with all of our other heads, we can modify your SR heads where we can supply them. So again, it is an alternative. It's sometimes a good alternative because people would just soon buy a brand new cylinder head and try to find the old cylinder heads that are 50 years old. So for those reasons, it may be a viable option for you, but only if you do an awful lot of work to it and modify it so it can be competitive and get you running in the top 2 or 3 at any racetrack in the country.